Jamari Thrash, wide receiver, Browns pick later in day 3, continues to get some pretty good reviews. Sam Monson from PFF on the PFF NFL Podcast on Thrash.
I love Jamari Thrash as an addition. Like, they don't need him because they've already made moves, and that's a good receiving core already. But he could absolutely carve a role on that. Like, Thrash is a guy that was going to get completely overlooked in what is a stupidly loaded wide receiver class. But, like, I think Jamari Thrash belongs much higher up in the conversation this year than he actually ended up being. Really sudden mover, got some amazing yards after the catch plays, had some pretty bad quarterback play as well. His testing was pretty average, which I think is part of why he slipped as far as he did. But he's a great poster child for the PFF gas. The tracking data had him consistently elite for 3 straight years. So given his, instinctive adjustments to the ball, instinctive adjustments to the quarterback, the only thing he doesn't do well is he's just not a contested catch guy in any way, shape, or form. Like, he is going to get, if it's close at the catch point, he's probably going to lose. But he's good at separating. Like, he's almost Jerry Jeudy in that regard, right? He's really good at separating. But if it's contested by the time the ball arrives, he's not your guy.
With that, let's welcome in Tim Bielik from the Plain Dealer, cleveland.com. Tim, I'm not crazy about that, but you can work around that. And the other thing about Thrash, get him in the weight room, get him a little stronger. Contested catches are things that you can work on.
Yeah, I think so. I do think, some of it is just his body type. Sub 6-foot receivers, you don't expect them to be, body control type specialists at receiver. You expect them more to be quick, twitchy guys, and that's what Jamari Thrash is. I think, even looking at his testing numbers that Sam Monson was referring to, it feels like watching his highlights, he was just much faster than that. I think the Senior Bowl, he might have been clocked at somewhere between 20 and 21 miles an hour at top speed. So that's an indication of just how fast he is. I think he's just seems like a pure football player to me who, he had a hand injury, his final season that obviously, limited some of his production and I think kind of hurt his stock a little bit. But, I think it was on NFL Network. I can't remember what DraftCast had it that said if this was not as deep a receiver class, he might have been a 3rd-round pick. And then he also saw Steve Smith really raving about Jamari Thrash as a player, as a prospect, saying that he's incredibly smart. And when you have smart players with that kind of twitchiness, you have guys who have an ability to succeed. And for a late 5th-round pick, that's as good as you can hope for.